If I lost my job today, I'm confident with every bone in my body that I'd be able to recover all of my income very, very quickly. So let me tell you exactly what I would do. When I first got into my career, it started as learning lead generation and advertising and media buying and copywriting, all the things that you need to really generate leads for a business and do marketing online for a business. And the piece of advice that I got when I was a rookie was, hey, call businesses, reach out to them and let them know that like you have this skill set and that you'll work for them for free. I took that advice and I got a couple people doing work for free. And then I got a couple people doing way less than I knew the service was worth. So like $300 a month and some stuff like that. And that's exactly what I would do if I started over again tomorrow is I would approach businesses and I would say, hey, I have this skill set. Here's how I think it can benefit your business and solve the problems that you told me you're having. And I will do work for you for no cost upfront. And that's where we tweak it just a little bit. If you watch any of my content on this channel, you'll hear me say something over and over and over and over again, which is I want to participate in the upside that I create. Okay, say it with me. I want to participate in the upside that I create. So what that means is if I make you $100 million, like I at least want a few million off of that, right? And it's so funny because that beginner's advice was actually so close to where I've ended up now that everything in the middle was just kind of a waste of time. I don't even want to say a waste of time, but it was just massively under leveraged. See, people often go through different phases of like, I'll do this service for you for free, and then I'll charge a little bit, and then I'll charge significantly more than I originally was charging. And people kind of just burn out from there and they just keep increasing what they charge. But if you tweak the beginner's advice just slightly and you add that one detail of not charging you up front, then you unlock like a huge income stream. So all I would do is charge them off of the profits that I create. So I'll give you a couple examples from solid wins in the very, very beginning of my career. I helped a beauty coaching business for permanent makeup artists add close to $60,000 in 3 months, which is pretty much what they were making per year at that time. So I did their year in 3 months with this skill. Instead of charging $1,000 a month for that service, in hindsight, I would have changed that to a percentage of what I added. Their profit margins weren't the healthiest, so I'd maybe charge 10% of what I added. And so in those 3 months that I built the system for them, instead of getting paid $3,000, I'd have gotten paid $6,000, gotten paid double the amount. I did work for a Pilates studio, yoga studios. I don't even remember if anything was closed on those. I think we just generated leads, but they didn't close. But today I'm equipped with sales skills. So what I would do in those situations is instead of just generating leads and expecting non-salespeople, business owners to become great salespeople overnight, I have nothing. So I'd be hustling. So I would do the sales for them, like understand their offer, create their offer, actually make a great offer and sell it for them and take a percentage. So we were generating leads for like $3 for the Pilates and yoga studios. So I would just call all the leads. I'll spend my day calling leads and selling them. And it's all service. So I'd probably take like 20% of what I generated. I worked with e-commerce businesses. And again, this is very beginning of the career. So I'm just reflecting, like, I think I added anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 a month in the couple of e-commerce businesses that I worked with in the beginning. So I'd probably take like 5% there since their margins weren't optimized yet. And all in all, I would have made 3 to 10 times more money than I did charging the rates that I was charging. And the thing about that, all of this income is dependent on my skills. And so like all I have, my skills are mental. So unless I go brain dead, nobody can take it away from me. So I can do this in any environment, like this deal structure in any environment. And the internet doesn't even have to exist. All I need to know is how do I get people to buy through whatever advertising avenues are available. As long as I can do that, as long as I can make sales and advertise and market somewhere, some way, somehow, then I can take a piece of what I help create, which I think is only right. So that's what I would do if I had to start all over. I would just snowball that into larger and larger deals and also just increase the value as I pick up and learn more things. So this is the beautiful mix between marketing and sales because I'm essentially getting a commission. And something that I would do differently than I did with my first few publishing deals is I would build in more ownership into the agreements so that whatever I build, I own, and I could just plug that in with somebody else's stuff. So prior hire, what I would do is I would build the system in somebody's business, which means that when I walk away, I have nothing. And when they walk away, I have nothing. But either way, when I walk away or they walk away, they have something. And that's backwards. Not in the sense that they should have nothing, but you should have something too when the relationship ends, just like your client does. And so I would just build more ownership into that so that I could continue monetizing even if the person that I worked with like stopped. And so that looks different in different industries. The industry that I like the most for something like this is the info industry, just because I can build the system that knows how to sell this outcome. So we prove that out with one person. And if we part ways, then I can just plug another person in with the right agreements, of course, so that I can continue to monetize and I don't lose my income just because a relationship ended. But if this were like a local business, like I've made like local businesses millions and millions of dollars over the years, I instead would negotiate for equity in exchange for my services. The reason why these deals are so effective and why people like to take them, even though we involve scary words like equity, is because it makes my pay variable. My pay is based on the health of the business. So number one, that incentivizes me as the partner to choose healthy businesses and work with healthy businesses or businesses that have the potential to be very healthy that I have a roadmap for. And B, it helps regulate the cost for the client, right? If your fee is like $5,000 a month, right? Fixed. And the client has a bad month, which happens to literally every business. Every business has a bad month. Every business has a bad quarter and every business has a bad year. Okay. No matter the size, small or large. So if a client has a bad month, then they're obligated to pay me $5,000. And while that may normally feel sustainable, in that bad month, when they have a 5%, 10%, 20%, 30% drop in revenue, that $5,000, that fixed fee for your services tends to hurt a lot. When you have a variable fee for your services, then it's easier to stomach, because if my fee is 10% of whatever, then if we're making $200,000 a month, I'll make 20 bands. If you shrink and make $100,000 the next month for whatever reason, then I make 10 bands, which means my bill grows and shrinks as you grow and shrink, but it always stays at a fixed percentage. And so it makes it a more flexible bill to stomach for business owners. So to pick up where I left off, if I were doing this for the local businesses that I worked with, I would negotiate with the mind that I have now, I would negotiate some sort of ownership in the deal. Like I want to be able to walk away from this and still get dividends after I've like lifted the business up. Or if you sell the business, I'd like to share in that successful moment where you have an exit and there's cash going around. It also, what it does to you as the provider is it actually motivates you to find and implement ways quickly in the business to fix whatever problems you're working on, because this is now your business. Maybe not 100%, maybe not even 50%, but you still own this business. And so it only benefits you to improve the business. Okay. So the way that I like to do that is like through vesting structures, but that's a different story for a different video. But that's what I would do if everything fell apart tomorrow. I would use my skills to seek ownership stakes in businesses that need my help. And that's how I'd rebuild everything in a very short time.